Hello, I'm Rob.
And I'm Rob.
And this is Ask Rob and Rob.
Yes, welcome to Ask Rob and Rob, one of our favourite bits of the week, and hopefully you don't mind it either. We love property, we love answering questions, we love spreading a bit of knowledge around, and hopefully that is what we're going to be doing with a little help from Mike, who is this week's questioner. So we're going to get on to Mike's question and hear what that is in just a sec. But first, if you haven't yet asked us a question of your own, that's okay. But it's really easy to do, so if you do have anything floating around in your brain that you'd really like an answer to, dead simple for you to put it our way.
You might even be walking along now, listening to this in your ears on the street, and you go, I'd love to ask this. Well, stop and call this number. Leave us a voicemail. It's 013 808 00035. That's 013 808 00035. It'll go straight to voicemail. Leave us your question, and you might just hear your voice in the very near future getting your question answered. Or, if you're at work, you listen to this and you're doing a bit of work, but you're not really because you much prefer to listen to us and you're just passing the time, why not pass it even more enjoyably by going to thepropertyhub.net/podcast and leave a recording that way? You might look a bit odd in the office asking a question to your computer, but doesn't matter because it'll all be worth it because you'll hear yourself soon on this show.
Yep, that is what Mike did. Well, we don't know if he did it in the office or not, but he definitely did it somewhere. He asked us the following question.
Mike Adams here. Great work on the podcast. So my question, real quick one, is around refinancing. So get a mortgage, usually about £2,000 setup fee every 2 years, 3 years. What happens after that 2 or 3 years? Is it best to remortgage and get another good deal, or is it best to get a mortgage that actually long term will work out better? Because obviously otherwise you've got that £2,000-ish setup fee every time, which obviously gets added to the mortgage anyway. So just trying to understand what the best route around that is, actually. Again, great work on the podcast. Loving it. Speak to you soon. Cheers.
Really good question, Mike. And this is testament to just how much there is to talk about with property. Like we say it with the property podcast. We've done over 180 of them now, and there's still no shortage of things to talk about. We've been doing Ask Rob and Rob for over a year, and there's still questions coming in all the time that we haven't come anywhere close to touching on before. So I'm really glad you asked this one. It's a great point, and it's a tricky one. There's a lot to touch on here, so let's have a go. As you quite rightly say, there are fees associated with mortgages. Some of those get added onto the loan, but nevertheless, even though you don't actually pay it out of your pocket, it does, of course, add to the balance you have to pay at the end, so it is a real cost. There are other costs involved that feel very real because they are, such as valuation fees, broker fees, all that kind of thing. Remortgaging is an expensive business. So yes, there are advantages to products that you can hold for longer periods of time. Of course, if you fix for a longer period of time, there is a downside, which is that normally when you take on a fixed rate, if you want to refinance within that period, there will be penalties. There'll be early redemption penalties associated with doing so. So you can actually get fixes for as long as 10 years. There are a couple of those out there. 5 years is the more common maximum. So if you fix for 5 years, you don't have to worry about it during that time. Your rate is set and you're not going to have any more fees. But if you've got a strategy that involves adding value or remortgaging when the market moves up, then there are going to be penalties associated with doing so. So that is something that you need to weigh up. It depends on your strategy. But ultimately, you need to think about the numbers. That's what it all comes down to. So whenever I remortgage, I ask my broker to show me different options that include all the various fees and actually work out how much it will cost me per year based on the characteristics of the product. So if you've got options for 2, 3, and 5 years, they all have different interest rates, different fees associated with them. It's quite difficult to actually work out what they'll cost you annually. And so I asked my broker to do it for me. And they do. And that's really what they should be doing because it's not your job to be able to work all this stuff out. It's their job. And when you look at the numbers, normally numbers don't lie. And there's still going to be an element of judgment in there, but it's going to give you a better idea of what the best option is likely to be for you.
As you can see, Mike, there's no clear-cut answer. There's no leave it or refinance. There's no definite. As Rob said, it comes down to the numbers. And that's ultimately the answer. It's just assessing the numbers or getting somebody to help you assess them and saying, yeah, this makes sense, or no, it doesn't. For example, you mentioned a £2,000 fee, but there are other mortgages with no fees. So does that mean go with the ones with no fees? Well, no, because they might be a higher rate. So again, it's working out which is the best approach. So no straightforward answer, but it's just coming down to getting your calculator out or getting your mortgage advisor to do it for you and saying, yeah, this one in paper based on your strategy and what you're looking to do makes sense. And that's it. It always will be that. There's never going to be a stock answer for this, except that just work out every single time and take the best approach at that point in time based on the goals and aspirations you have moving forward. Simple as that, unless you're rubbish at maths, and then simple as that for your broker. Okay, so if this mortgage chat is whet your appetite and you'd like to know a bit more about mortgages, learn, educate yourself, become a bit of an expert? Well, maybe not the latter, you could do, who knows? But you certainly will learn a lot by reading the Property Hub magazine. Super popular, so many subscribers now. It's awesome. Thank you for those who support it, who get it quarterly. Really high quality product, if we do say so ourselves, but we're very proud of it. We bring in professional writers and professional experts in their field. And we have not one, but two resident finance experts who contribute in every single issue. So much value in the magazine. But try it. Sign up, you're not locked in. See it for yourself, and you might just think it's the best investment you've made in a while.
Yep, all you need to do is go to thepropertyhub.net/magazine. There'll be no early redemption clauses or minimum periods or any of the kind of stuff that you get with mortgages. Just dead simple, £5 an issue. If you like it, great. If you don't, never mind. But I think you will, because just the mortgage stuff alone, there's so much great stuff in there. I like to think that I know a thing or two about property, and I always learn tons from our guest contributors in particular. So thank you for that question, Mike, and thank you to you, whoever you are, for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. We're going to be back with another question and another answer next Tuesday, and before that, the Property Podcast on Thursday. We look forward to seeing you then. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.